This week it's a little weird. It's repairs and rodeos. They don't go together, but they do. This is the damage I did to my mother-in-law's house, and this is the damage I did to my car a couple of weeks ago. It took me a while to get around to taking off the cross beams that were broke when I hit her garage. And this is me showing you the cross beams, how they were broken after I took everything off. You can see the pads. I had them riding on for a while until I was able to get the time to do this. It was surprisingly easy for me to take them off. You just unscrewed a few screws and off they came. If I'd known they were that easy, I would have done it sooner. The most important part was to put the screws back in the holes from which they came out. And this is me actually working on it late one night after I got my new cross beams in and installing them in the night. Later on, a few days later, I got the time to mount my racks and my travel box on the top of the roof. Everything has to be perfect and aligned or you'll end up paying for it later. Perfect. And through the magic of editing, you can see the one nut that was already tightened while I tightened down the other end nut. And here comes my beloved top carrier. This thing is rather large, so you almost have to manhandle it to get it up on top. And be very careful that it doesn't cause you to fall off your stool you're standing on. That sticker from Woody's of Texas, that is one of my favorite stickers. It was given to me free at Woody's Smokehouse in Centerville, Texas. They saw all the stickers on my top carrier and they brought out a sticker as I was getting ready to leave. I love that. It's one of my best memories related to any sticker. And if you ever wondered what I carry up there, it's my inflatable kayak. I only get to use this about 2 to 5 times a year, but when I do, I am grateful for having that up there. Funny story, I only paid $20 for this kayak because the gentleman I bought it from sold 2 and they both had holes in them, but there's 2 pieces to it, a top and a bottom. And I was able to combine them and make one kayak. With the repairs complete, I was able to meet up with my friend Doug and be off to the rodeo, the Houston Rodeo, which, to be quite honest, was more like a fair than a rodeo. Even though it has the rodeo as a major part of it, it felt much more like a fair. With fair food, look at the size of that sausage. I was impressed. And Frito chili pie. Doug caught me telling the story to the people sitting beside me.
So I get down and I'm laying down and I'm trying to get the flour perfect and I'm all focused on this flour. And I go to stand up and when I turn around, the alligator that was like from here to that tent over there is now from here to that cart. And he's coming toward me because I was laying down. And he's afraid of me from, it's something I need to be afraid of because it's something I can eat.
And who doesn't love chocolate-covered cheesecake? It was delicious. And then it was time to head up to our seats in the arena at the top of the rodeo and look at those lights. I was impressed with how beautiful the rodeo was at night. The opening ceremony was pure patriotism and Americana. That's all I can say about it. It was awesome. And the first event was calf roping. I was really impressed with it. These guys are very talented. And here he is showing how it's done. Almost. I think bareback riding is one of the most iconic events at the rodeo. This was the first time I'd ever been to a professional rodeo. I'd been to one amateur one when I was a kid, but I really enjoyed this. I also never thought about how they got them off the horses, and I thought that was interesting, riding another horse alongside and jerking them off. The look on this man's face sort of tells it all about how much fun it isn't to ride that horse. It did give you a sense of sympathy for the horse riders after you saw the close-ups on the big screen. It was brutal. Doug and I were really enjoying ourselves. Up next was the steer roping. And this cowboy understood the mission. It was to get the steer down, even if it took you kicking him. I thought that was funny. Sometimes the steer is smarter than the cowboy. And some of the steers just will not go down. This cowboy struggled to get his steer to go down, which requires all legs to be up while the steer is on its back. And he still had to fight with it, but pride kept him going. And here it's cattle 2 and cowboys 2. But the best was last. This man was a true expert at the craft. I was very impressed with the bell racing. These cowgirls and their control of the horses and the tight turns is really, really athletic, I thought, and very agile. Very impressive. These races reminded me of Sherry Hearn, a girl who was in my little sister's class in high school who was a barrel racer. She eventually won a truck from her barrel racing. We were so impressed with Sherry. If I remember right, she was either a national or world champion. And if I'm honest, I didn't see the purpose in calf roping this way. Bing, there goes the rope. And then it was time for the main event, bull riding. This is a very dangerous sport. We saw 2 men injured during this night. I have a respect for both the bulls and for the riders. They're amazing athletes both. And here was a bad moment. You see what the bull did to the man. And here's another rider. He was having a good ride, though none of them made it to the 8 seconds at this point. Here's another gentleman. He was riding the bull, and he scrambled, and the bull went in the chute. This was a bad ride, a very bad ride. The man was stepped on by the bull. His ankle was shattered. They had to carry him out. Hurts still watching. So sorry. And to end on a high note and to show how difficult this is the ride of the one man who made it the full 8 seconds. The only rider to accomplish the task. And you can see by the look on his face how proud he was of himself. Up next was a thing called the calf scramble, where local children who are in the 4-H or FFA are all brought out around a square, and then they let cattle, specifically calves, out of the chute, and the goal is after the calf enters the ring or square, comes out, to grab the calf and bring the calf back in, and then you get the calf and you get to raise the calf, and eventually the calf will be sold at a show. So let's just sit back and watch some of the kids. It was rather interesting and fun. I could see the joy in this event, both for the kids and the spectators. This kid, though he looked sort of silly, had a real intelligent way of doing this. I was impressed with him. He thought it through. By holding on the calf's tail, he was able to direct the calf, and as the calf ran away from him, he just directed it into the circle. Then you have to put your head around them to catch them, get it back in the circle. And you can see the one boy down who caught the calf inside the square, and he has to go outside, turn around and come back in. This one was able to get his in. Once they're in, they get taken away. This girl needed help to get her calf inside. And these are just some random ones I thought were interesting. And then it was time for the chuck wagon races. And the races are off. And they make one circle around, and then they determine the winner by whoever crosses the line first, which in this case was the black horses. And then it's mutton busting. These are small children ride the sheep, and they get used to being cowboys. And off they go. I thought this was cute and adorable. I didn't want anyone to get hurt, but I didn't think they would. And as they went down, I wanted to make sure that everyone saw them get up and be happy. I think they enjoyed it. And this was our last young cowboy riding on his mutton. And he will let us go with a great big wave. And then it was time for the concert. Lizzo, I did not stick around because it was getting late for me, but it was an impressive light show. It was enjoyable to walk out and see all the interesting outfits and the booths. Subscribe if you can. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you in another video next week.